New this morning on your Fast Track to 7, police are investigating reports of gunshots in North Moorhead. They got the call just before 10 last night from the 1500 block of 11th Street North. Police say they found a casing in the parking lot, but they did not find any witnesses or other clues. Also on your Fast Track this morning, Fargo police are releasing the names of the 4 officers involved in a deadly shooting in Mapleton on Monday. Travis Mosier, Josh Heller, Ryan Jasper, and Jordan Cordy were all on scene as members of the Metro Street Crimes Unit and are now on standard leave while the case is investigated by the State Bureau of Criminal Investigation. Authorities have also identified the man who was killed as 35-year-old Andrew Martinez. Deputies were called to his house Monday morning after neighbors heard gunshots. When deputies arrived, they say they also heard gunfire and then called for backup. The neighborhood was put on lockdown and police negotiators tried talking Martinez into surrendering for more than 4 hours. But Cass County Sheriff Jesse Johnner says Martinez came out with a gun and that's when police shot him. International tensions are growing this morning as U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi wraps up her controversial trip to Taiwan. She is the highest-ranking U.S. official to travel to that island in the last 25 years, testing the already strained relationship between China and the U.S. Despite their independent government, China considers Taiwan its territory, and Chinese officials say there will be serious consequences as a result of Pelosi's visit. Pelosi says her trip addresses opportunities for the U.S. and Taiwan to collaborate on areas like security. President Joe Biden says he will sign the burn pit legislation when it reaches his desk. The Senate passed the PACT Act last night after a number of Republicans dropped their opposition. That action came following nearly a week of delays, outrage, and protests led by former talk show host and comedian Jon Stewart. Funeral services for former Clay County Sheriff Bill Berquist are now set for Monday, August 15th. They will be at Nemzik Hall on MSUM's campus. Visitation is from 9 to 11. The funeral will then start at 11. Berquist served in law enforcement for more than 40 years. He was 64 years old. 6:54 now on this Wednesday morning. Let's get a check of your Fast Track forecast with Lisa Green. Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning. Beautiful out there this morning. We've got sunshine in Fargo. Other places do have some clouds overhead, so we'll be watching those pass through and eventually as the day goes on get more sunshine in some of those spots. Temperatures are mild this morning, 63. The problem is that they don't warm up. So we're at 63 in Fargo. The wind is westerly at 9. That will start picking up. We've seen a gust of 40 now out of the northwest in Grand Forks, and more of those drying winds, those cooling winds will move in. Pretty quiet out there right now as far as the radar is concerned. Temperatures today, big difference from yesterday, especially in the south. We're at 78 for a high coming up for Fargo, and factor in that wind too. Again, already seeing some places gusting to 40. For Fargo, that'll come a little bit later this morning as that wind works its way southward. We're looking at winds staying brisk through the daytime hours into the evening, and then eventually later tonight that wind will ease up. But it's a cool one coming up here for today. And then again, we're heating back up as we head into Thursday and Friday, back into the 90s with storm chances.
You've really been, I think, pleasing both people, those that like it cooler and those that like it hotter, because we just waffle between the two.
I know, this is the week for that for sure. And, you know, be ready for more heat to come back after this little break.
All right, Lisa, thank you. It is now 6:55. An evacuation order has been lifted at the University of Minnesota campuses in Minneapolis after a day-long investigation into a petroleum leak. Emergency crews are still working to pinpoint the source. Yesterday's evacuation included Williams Arena, Huntington Bank Stadium, and Mariucci Arena, as well as the area from the Mississippi River along University Avenue all the way to I-94. The petroleum leak comes a month after an underground explosion rumbled University Avenue near campus, blowing manhole covers off of a stretch of road and then prompting evacuations then. Many families are looking to squeeze in some last-minute vacations before school starts soon. A scare with a toddler in Otter Tail County, though, has experts warning parents to stay vigilant to protect their children around the water. They say there is an equal risk of a child drowning in open water or a pool, but there are some key differences that parents need to be aware of, like a lack of visibility, sudden drop-offs, and uneven surfaces. Because water in lakes is often not clear, the color of a child's bathing suit can play a significant role.
Logically, the brighter colors are more easily seen green is going to be filtered out. And so it's harder to see a watercolored, algae colored swimsuit.
You should also make sure that someone is keeping an eye on the children at all times and talk to your kids about proper behavior around the water. A black bear is dead after being hit by a motorcycle, and the person who hit it is now injured. A passerby came upon the crash on County Road 34 north of Pillager, Minnesota on Monday. Police say the motorcyclist has significant road rash, scrapes, bruises, and a broken wrist. Children in the Valley are pedaling away this week. It's I Can Bike Camp, and it's back in town. The Valley Today's Jillian Trudeau joins us live with what that means for kids who are looking to get some wheels. Good morning, Jillian.
Good morning, Jordan, and it's a good morning to learn how to ride a bike, and that's what kids are doing at the Moorhead High School this week, where the I Can Bike Camp is kicking off. I'm outside of Ann Carlson, who sponsors the camp, and earlier this morning I talked with Sarah Fuchs, who is the East Region Vice President of Ann Carlson, who said that this camp is to teach children with disabilities how to ride a bike and teach them independence. She said that there's actually one kid who didn't have to go back to the camp because he already learned on himself. So it started on Monday and it ends on Friday, so we're in the middle of it, but they're going to be back next year.
Riding a bike, something oftentimes neurotypical parents and children can take advantage of, but a great camp there. Jillian Trudeau reporting live this morning. Thank you. Rising costs due to inflation are causing many people to look for new ways to make a little extra cash. The manager of Clothes Mentor Consignment Shop in Fargo says they're now inundated with gently used items as more people are selling them to make a quick buck. She says their buying intake has been up 15%. Sellers could get between 30 to 40% for their items from Clothes Mentor, but the manager says they have become selective about what they accept and they want to stick to the current trends. Last night's Red Hawks game had a special pregame event. 15 people were naturalized as U.S. citizens. The citizenship candidates originate from 10 different countries. However, now they call America home and they live in Fargo, West Fargo, and Bismarck. Beethoven has competition. Grand Forks native David Snyder is competing on NBC's America's Got Talent. The 24-year-old pianist grew up on a farm and then moved to L.A. in 2016, just months after graduating high school. He now has about 100,000 TikTok followers. We'll find out next week if he advances. Remember, watch that show on KVLY. The world's tallest tree is now officially off limits to visitors. Hyperion is in California's Redwood National Forest. That monstrous tree has reportedly suffered due to people leaving too much trash around it. If you did go by that tree, you could pay a $5,000 fine. Thank you for joining us here on the Valley Today this morning. Have a great Wednesday.